Hi, I'm Frank Masiosi, and I'm here today with Margaret Momber and Emmett Daly of Student Partner Alliance. Margaret is the executive director, and Emmett is the president. You've heard from us once before. This is going to be a little bit different from the last time. We're going to do this show in segments. So this will be the first segment, and then you're going to meet some other folks who I'll introduce in a little while when they come in for the second and third segments. So, with that, Maggie, tell us, Student Partner Alliance. I think it's a really unique organization, but tell us why.
Well, Frank, first of all, thanks so much for inviting us back. It's a very special organization. It started 30 years ago by one very dedicated gentleman who really wanted to help low-income urban high school students get the kind of education to have a happy, productive life. And 30 years later, almost, we've handed out more than 2,200 scholarships. We're supporting 185 students this year with both scholarships and mentors. And as we call it, the secret sauce is our mentors in our program. And even during these difficult times we've had over the last 2 years, we've been able to recruit quite a few new mentors to come in and support students in particularly difficult times.
So describe your role as executive director. And have you been here with the organization since the beginning?
No, I started about 10 years ago. And since then, with Emmett, Emmett and I started together about 10 years ago, although Emmett's been on the board and been involved for far longer than I have. And we pretty much do everything. I'm the executive director, so that means fundraising, human resources, IT, managing the programs, which would be recruiting, training, and matching mentors. Also, we look at the students very carefully and evaluate them. So we have a rather lengthy admissions process. So we want to support students who really want our support. They want to have mentors. They need, or their families need, the financial assistance. Our program is financial needs. It's not a merit-based program. And we believe that we're significant in helping some of these kids really have a better life. Yeah. And we have a very dedicated board. We have very dedicated staff. We have very dedicated mentors. And I feel very fortunate to be part of this dynamic, small, productive organization.
How big is your board? It sounds like you're doing almost everything.
No, this is all of us combined. We're very much of a team.
How big is your staff?
The staff is 4 and the board is 16. Okay. And it's real teamwork.
Okay. So you've known many of the mentees over the years. That's what you call them, right? Mentor, mentee, correct?
Mentees or students, yes.
Okay. You've known many of them over the years, I suspect.
True. And I have been mentor to 4 students now myself.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about them. Are there some that stand out?
They all stand out.
Is there something that they all have in common? Tell us about the mentees as a group.
They were all bright, hardworking, interesting, fun people, and I learned as much from them about their lives and their, future desires as maybe they learned something from me. I'm not sure, but I certainly got a lot out of my experience with them. So I think this is very much a two-way street. Being a mentor, it's an opportunity to get to know somebody you wouldn't know otherwise, and if there are bits and pieces of your life experience that are interesting or spark something in them, then so much the better.
They're all very passionate about getting a good education. They just don't come from families that have the resource to get them a good education. So when we offer that financial scholarship and the mentor, it all kind of coalesces. They take off. And the one thing in common, the one thing that they're not different, is that every one of them graduates and every one of them goes on to a college education.
Now, how many do you figure, and this is obviously just a wild guess, but how many of them would have done it without Student Partner Alliance?
So If you take the average graduation rate in the Newark public schools, which just don't have the resources, it's just overwhelmed, 65% graduation rate. The average graduation rate of our program, 100%.
Okay.
So it's a huge life changer. And these kids just need a little more structure, a little more discipline, and just better resources that Newark and Jersey City schools can't give them.
And the differences, the percentage differences must be even more remarkable for college. What you mentioned was high school graduation.
That's right.
I have to assume that the numbers that go on to college.
From the public system, but very, very low.
Yeah.
Very low.
Yeah.
Yeah. But these are schools. These are private schools in their communities, right? St. Benedict's, Hudson Catholic, St. Vincent's. These are college preparatory schools. So they go in with the mindset that they're going to college.
So Emmett, how long have you been involved in the program, and how many mentees have you had?
So many years. My wife and I moved to Summit about 30 years ago, and SPA was in its early stages. We joined then as mentors. Over the years, I've probably mentored 10 to 12 kids, and my wife has mentored 7 or 8 kids. I've been, as Maggie said, the president of the board for about 11 years right now. The mentees I've had have all succeeded greatly, have all gone on to college. We're in touch with many of the kids still.
Oh, yeah? Yes.
Yep. And one of the kids that we remain very close to is someone that I introduced you to last time we were on the show, Chris Beltran.
Yep, impressive young man.
A great guy. Chris was my mentee from St. Benedict's Prep, went on to Montclair State, has a great career, is married and has his own family, and he's actually now on SPA's board. So he's come full circle. So from being a mentee to now being on our board is just a huge story. It's just great.
With this level of involvement, it must be a fulfilling experience, or you wouldn't keep doing it. Tell us a little bit.
It's profoundly changed my life. It changed my kids' lives because they were unaware of this world outside of the bubble of Summit. Yep. So it was a real eye-opener for them to go into some of these tougher neighborhoods and see some of these kids. And we participate in a lot of activities to help the mentoring process. Mm-hmm. So it's had a profound impact.
Yeah. Maggie, COVID has had an impact, hasn't it?
COVID had a tremendous impact across the board, primarily with the families. Many of the family members got sick right away, and a few passed away. So that was a huge impact on the families and on the students. There have been increase in mental health issues in many places for many kids. But what we did right away under Emmett's leadership was he organized an emergency fund, and it went from 0 to 100,000 in about 3 weeks. And that enabled us to support a lot of families in the program who otherwise, they just didn't have any resources at that point. They weren't working, they were at home, they were sick. So we increased the amount of the scholarship, and we've held that higher throughout the last two years, and we intend to continue. Because while COVID may be down, inflation is up. And we were able to pivot to remote work instantly. We were able to continue to find new mentors, and we were able to create a whole lot of new events that were online during the last 2 years to keep the relationships going, to develop some new relationships. So I thought we came up with a lot of good new programming ideas, and some of them we're continuing. So we will go forward in a virtual and in-person world. We were so happy to be able to have our first 4 in-person events at the schools over the last 2 weeks. So we've learned a lot, and the program is coming out as strong as it went into COVID. I think being strong going in was essential. And we've kept the staff together, the board, the students. Very few students had to drop out of the school, so I would say it was a lot of hard work. Sometimes it's fun to create new things and to respond to a new world, and we did that. And we're looking forward to whatever's coming next.
Just before we wrap up, I just want to say we're strong because of people in Summit too. We just get tremendous support from people in Summit. I mean, Regina and I have tapped into all of our friends to be mentors, huge financial supporters. This community has really supported us. We're right over here in Christchurch on Springfield Ave. So we're really a Summit-based charity, supported by Summit.
As we all know, it's a special
It's an incredible
community.
town.
So, better wrap up now because we got 2 more segments in this half hour. But thank you very much for joining us. And now we'll hear from some of the other folks from Student Partner Alliance.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thanks
Thank
very
you.
much, Frank.
Thanks, Frank.
I am here with Chris Borozak and Quincy Slay. Chris and Quincy, thank you for joining us today.
Great being here.
Thank you.
So, Chris is on the board of Student Partner Alliance, and Quincy is his mentee. So, Quincy, tell me, how'd you guys meet?
So, Mr. Borozak and I, we met in 2015, the beginning of my freshman year at Marist High School, at the first Student Partner Alliance event.
Okay. So it was a Student Partner Alliance event, huh?
Yes, yes it was.
Okay. And so now you've graduated, huh?
Yes, yes, I graduated. I went to Marist for 2 years, my
Yep.
freshman, sophomore year. Then I ended up transferring to Hudson Catholic, which is another private school in Jersey City, New Jersey. And I was fortunate enough to have Mr. Borozak actually come with me to Hudson Catholic and continue to mentor me.
It's another school that's also associated
With
with
Student Partner
Student
Alliance.
Partner Alliance.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
And so when did you graduate?
I graduate 2019. That's
Okay.
when I graduated, and now I am at Seton Hall University.
Okay.
I am studying finance and marketing, double major. So I'm in my junior year, but it's kind of where I'm like a senior by credit. So coming this December 2022, I should be graduating, and I'll be walking in May
Wow.
2023.
Wow.
Yes.
So you're going to graduate a semester early?
Yes, 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 I will. I
Okay.
will.
Okay, good. So your high school preparation got you started on that trajectory, didn't it?
Absolutely. My experiences at both high schools were great. I feel like I was very much prepared to go to college, even though when you get to college, you know, there's a level, it's a new level. It's very more intense than high school.
Yep.
But I felt like I was prepared. Hudson Catholic High School and Marist High School prepared me very well to get to the next level.
Now, how did Chris's mentoring play into all that?
Ms. Borozak's mentoring played a tremendous role in my life, being that I met him in 2015 when I was 14 years old, and now I'm 21. So the time has
7 years.
yes. So I'm not old, but I feel like I'm getting up there a little bit. I have a mustache now, a little facial hair now since we first met.
You got a few years ahead of you.
A few years ahead.
I've got the gray hair, or no hair at all.
Right. But I was able to, he's been there for me. Honestly, he's been there for me since I was 14 years old. And we have done a lot of great things both within Student Partner Alliance and outside of Student Partner Alliance as well. I've been able to stay in constant communication with Mr. Borozak at all times, no matter if it's related to Student Partner Alliance or not. He has guaranteed me the opportunity to go see the Lakers play because he knows that I'm a huge Laker fan, and I'm a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Those were one of the few things that we connected on when we first met in 2015. Because, you know, when you meet somebody you never met before, you know, they're older than you, you're like, okay, like, what are we gonna talk about? So that was just one of the things that we used to break the ice was sports.
Okay.
And that's something that we found like we had a connection on, and everything else grew from there.
Chris, are you a Lakers fan too?
I became one.
Okay.
And I'll just say that game, it was a disappointing game because the Lakers lost, but it was a lot of fun to be there with Quincy.
Yeah. Tell us a little about the mentor-mentee relationship from a mentor's point of view.
It grows. I mean, as Quincy mentioned, you know, when we first met in the fall of 2015, you're trying to make a connection, you know. I'm a boomer, you know, he's a 14-year-old teenager. And so trying to find some common ground, as he mentioned, we were both very interested in sports. So we use that as a means of creating a conversation. And then I learn about his classwork and the classes that he likes and, you know, try to identify how he can do better in those classes. and also, quite frankly, identify classes he's not real keen about, and making sure that he understands, okay, math is important, science is important. So we had a really good series of conversations about the need to be focused on his schoolwork. But the other thing is, Quincy was really great in a lot of extracurricular activities at both Marist and Hudson Catholic. For example, he was a sports writer for the school newspaper at Hudson Catholic, and created an Instagram reporting on a lot of things that were going on within the sports environment at the high school. So it was more than just simply his education. It was a lot of other things that he was doing that he would keep me apprised of.
This is a real success story. So, yeah,
One other success, I'll say, he got a full scholarship to Seton Hall on his graduation.
Yes.
fantastic, fantastic. All the way through. Full
Yes. Yes.
That's great. That's great. You have to keep your grades up to keep
Absolutely.
that, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Yep.
you obviously have. Okay, and it sounds like your major. Tell me your double major again with business marketing. You said
Finance and marketing.
finance and marketing.
Yes.
So you guys have that in common, really, the finance part, right? So do you ever talk business together or just sports?
No, we talk sports mostly, but actually I am going to get into talking with Mr. Barozak a little bit more about that as I'm going into the professional world.
I mean, you're gonna be looking for a job, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So that's that's always a challenge.
Yes, absolutely. But I will say I was very fortunate. Seton Hall University gives a lot of opportunities for the business students. They send out a lot of, even yesterday there was a huge career fair on campus, followed by just regular time throughout the semester. They send emails out of internships and everything that are available to students to apply for. And actually, one day, my sophomore year, actually back in March of 2021, I sat down and I chose to just fill out some applications to some internships, and I was lucky enough to land one. I am an intern at Blackstone 360 LLC, which is a real estate development company in East Orange, New Jersey, which isn't far from campus at all. It's about 5 minutes from there, and I've been there for a year now.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
You do that, and at the same time, your schoolwork.
Going to school. I'm also a resident assistant on campus. I've been one since sophomore year. So everything's going well. I'm based, as a resident assistant, I am based in the freshman area. So I support all of the first year students just coming into college, kind of just how I was my freshman year. But next semester, I'll be located in an off-campus dorm for upperclassmen.
So I guess you don't have to worry about what to do in your spare time, huh?
Nope, always working.
That's great. That's absolutely wonderful. Chris, have you had other mentees?
I have. I've been involved with Student Partner Alliance for over 12 years, and I've had approximately 12 students that I've sponsored. And my wife also has been a mentor, and it's been a tremendous experience. I mean, obviously you can see I've learned a lot from Quincy, which is one of the marvelous things about being a mentor, is you learn so much more about not just themselves, but about, just a lot of different things that they're interested in, and you want to know more about that as well. So it's been a really great experience.
Yeah, that's great. Chris has said, Emmett has said some of the same things in terms of the learning. So
Yeah.
that's
It's a two-way street.
Mutually beneficial. That's
Yep.
wonderful. So I feel as if we could, the three of us, just keep talking fill up the whole half hour, but we don't have that luxury because we have one more guest. So
Okay.
thank you both very much for being here, and enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you. I
Thank you for
appreciate it.
having us.
Okay. I'm here with Jaime DeLeon. Good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
And Jaime is admissions director at Hudson Catholic and also a member of the Student Partner Alliance board. And I understand you just recently got yet another title.
Yes, I was recently promoted to Dean of Enrollment Management at Hudson Catholic, which just means I'm doing some Dean of Students work as well as enrollment management or admissions.
Okay, well, sounds like congratulations are in order, so
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So how long have you been involved with Student Partner Alliance, and in what capacity?
So I've been at Hudson Catholic for 4 years now, and I've been a board member of the Student Partner Alliance for the last 2. And it's really been something that I was not planning on doing at the time, but when I was given the opportunity to, I jumped at it. And it's really made a world of difference for me. One of the big reasons I like working at Hudson Catholic in the first place is because we get to work with so many great students. And the Student Partner Alliance is really just, seems like another arm of Hudson Catholic in how they support our students and the amount of things that they do for our students and students just like them in other places.
Are there many of your students at Hudson Catholic who are involved with Student Partner Alliance?
There are. I believe there are about 40 students right now that are part of Student Partner Alliance at Hudson Catholic between grades 9 and 12. So it's
Okay.
about 10 each year, somewhere in that number, 7, 8, 9, 10 each
Okay.
year. So it's quite a bit of support that we get from that organization.
At all different levels within
Correct.
the school?
Correct,
Okay.
yeah. So we typically have, as I say, probably 8 to 10 every year. I'm not sure if that's exactly the breakdown, but there's about 40 kids who are getting support from the Student Partner Alliance at Hudson
Okay.
Catholic.
And so on a day-to-day or week-to-week basis, what are some of the things that you do in relation to Student Partner Alliance?
So I think for me the biggest benefit we get from being associated with the Student Partner Alliance is the mentorship. I spend most of my day talking to our students about one thing or another. And it's great for our kids to know that there's someone out there that cares about them beyond just their mom or their dad, right? I think everybody knows their parents care about them. But I'm always surprised when kids are surprised that I know what their grades are like, or I know if they've skipped a class, or I know if they've missed an assignment. And so having a mentor outside of the school, I think, is just another layer of that. You know, you'll hear them say, I was surprised that, you know, my mentor knew what my report card was, good or bad, right? Obviously, a lot of our kids are on the honor roll as well. And so their mentor will mention, you know, congratulations on the honor roll, and they'll be surprised that their mentor took the time to find that out. And so that's been a very rewarding experience. Just recently, I met with one of the mentors who told me about his mentee and wondered why he'd never been Student of the Month at Hudson Catholic, which was an interesting thing because he's a great student. And I told him sometimes Student of the Month isn't always just the best, smartest kid. Sometimes it's somebody who's involved in this or that, the other thing. And so naturally that led him to talk to his student about getting involved in some of these other things so that he can get that recognition. And again, just to see the young man respond to that and say, wow, I didn't know anybody else was paying attention to whether or not I'm Student of the Month, you know, other than obviously his mother. I think just makes it that much more rewarding. And to have those kinds of interactions every day and to hear from kids who have graduated and still talk about, they still have a relationship with their mentor, and they're still checking in on them and wanting to see how they're doing in college, and some even in the real world already, I think makes it really special for us.
So you keep track of what all these kids are doing?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You know, I
okay.
think that's my main role at the school is to, you know what our students are up to. Part of what I also do at Hudson Catholic is promote the school. So I run, you know, our social media sites and all of our publicity. So I love to know about our kids and what they're doing and what they're up to. As I said, even beyond the classroom. You know, obviously we all want our kids to be scholars, but we want them to be well-rounded as well. You know, I want to hear about their successes, whether it's on a sports field, whether it's in a club or activity, whether they're doing something like this in our television studio. We like to know about those and celebrate those things.
So you have a little bit of a unique perspective because you're inside the school, you're connected to the kids, you're also on the Student Partner Alliance board,
Right.
right?
Yeah, so like I said, it's to me, the Student Partner Alliance is just like another arm of our school, right? They do the same kinds of things, you know, outside of the financial support that, you know, certainly we're grateful for. I think it's really the mentorship that sets it apart and makes it that much more special for our kids. You know, there are a lot of places you can get a scholarship from. I wish there were more, but you know, there are certainly a lot of places just where you can get the financial support. But to have a place where you can get the financial and sort of the emotional and the mentorship, I think really makes it unique.
What do they do in relation to the school, the Student Partner Alliance?
Well, we like to have them, you know, usually twice a year,
Yeah.
come visit, you know, their kids at the school. I'll often tell mentors about events at the school, the play, for instance. We're finally back to having a play this year, so we're
They'll
going to
they'll come to the play?
So we'll invite them, and you know, certainly a few of them will take us up on that offer.
Okay.
We invite them to various, you know, sports games and things like that, so they can come and see whether their mentee is an athlete or not. You know, they can go to the game with their
Sure.
mentor, and you know, it's glad to have some of these events back finally, so that we can
Yeah,
get
yeah.
more of that face-to-face interaction.
So, Jaime, there must be, I'm sure there's many, success stories. Are there any that stand out, just noteworthy success stories these kids have had?
Absolutely. One of the things we're most proud of at Hudson Catholic is that we have a 100% graduation rate and 100% going on to college. So it's always great to hear, these kids getting into great schools and getting great scholarships from colleges. So I know we have one young man who got a full ride to Seton Hall a couple of years back. We've got one young man who's at Penn State now, doing really, really well. We even have a number of students who have taken advantage of a program we have at Hudson Catholic called Dual Enrollment, which is partnered with our friends at Seton, at St. Peter's University, that allows the kids to start taking college-level courses while they're still at high school. So we've had a few students who've gone through Hudson Catholic, St. Peter's University, and the Student Partner Alliance, all within their 4 years of high school. And ultimately, when they get to St. Peter's University as a student, they're starting in their junior year already. So we have a couple of students who have done that as well. It just speaks to the kind of support that they're getting. Not only the financial support, but having a mentor that can help them through not only their high school classes, but also their college classes has really shown to be a very crucial part of what we're doing at Hudson Catholic.
Yeah, that's great. So now, speaking of success stories, Hudson Catholic has a story, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and we're proud to say we're one of the few schools in the Archdiocese of Newark whose enrollment has grown every year for the last 5 years. And again, it's because of support from our friends like the Student Partner Alliance, who are able to help us sustain that success year in and year out. We serve, obviously, an urban community in Jersey City where families are struggling just to pay their regular bills. And so to be able to give these young men and women an opportunity to go to high school and again, 4 years later, go on to college is really a monumental task and a really hard thing to do in these changing times. So I'm proud of the success we've had at Hudson Catholic. I'm proud to be part of the Student Partner Alliance, and I hope that we continue to have that relationship for many years to come.
Well, on that note, I thank you for being here. Been a very interesting conversation in 3 parts, and so there we are.
Thank you for having me.